This is episode 70. Wow, the big 70. I can't believe we've been on this journey since the beginning of October 2020, and we are finally here, the big 70. So, hey, let me ask you a question. Do you have a physical store as well as an online store? Did you know working on your local SEO strategy is extremely important if you want to dominate not only your city, but also Google as well? So, in this episode, I will teach you what you need to do when it comes to local SEO optimization so you can really hone in and improve your overall e commerce SEO strategy. And this is the next episode in our e-commerce SEO strategy series. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome to the Calm Marketer Podcast. My name is Kenneth Fong, a digital marketer on a mission to help businesses thrive. I'll bring you on my marketing journey where you'll get to learn from my experiences as an INFP navigating an extroverted world and get actionable marketing tips for your business. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now let's begin. If you have a physical store and you are listening to this podcast series, this podcast episode, you might be interested in what you can do for your SEO strategy for your website. But don't ever neglect your physical store and how your physical store shows up in Google. And incorporating a local SEO strategy is what will help you show up in local directories more frequently and higher when people search. So, first thing that you must have before you even start on a local SEO strategy campaign is to have three things. You must have a business name, which I know you obviously have a business name, but one thing I want to stress is that make sure you just have one business name. You could have a DBA, right? Something that you call yourself publicly, but it must be consistent. So you must call yourself that same name across everywhere. Because I know there's some businesses that I've worked with, like these dentists, like they have their LLC name or what they give to the government, and then they have their DBA name, and then sometimes they just call themselves their first name and last name. Sometimes, they put acronyms on there. Like, I feel like a lot of business owners, they don't know what to call themselves. And it can be pretty scary because you need to know what your name is. So make sure you have one business name. All right. And keep it like that. So figure out your business name first, okay? And then have a local phone number. So this one might be a little bit easier. I would recommend selecting a customer service number or the number that gets answered frequently or that goes to a service line, right? So pick one phone number. And the last thing is you must have a physical street address. So this is probably like the easiest thing out of the three is to have a physical street address if you have a physical business storefront, right? So you need to have a business name, a phone number, and a street address. So once you have those things, you need to claim your Google My Business profile. So if you go to Google My Business, just do a Google search. It'll be the first listing that shows up. Click on it and fill out your information completely. So all the about section, the contact information, make sure it is completely filled out. Make sure you add photos. Make sure you add videos as well. The more complete your profile is completed, then the more opportunity your business page can show up in search results. Another tip when you build out your Google My Business profile is to add products and services. So Google My Business, on the left-hand side after you log in, there is a couple of links, one pointing to products and the other one pointing to services. And what's unique about this is that you can switch these in and out as frequently as you want and as strategically as you want. And if you are an e-commerce store, the products section is extremely beneficial to you because you can actually put products on your Google My Business listing and cycle through them. Maybe every month or every time you have a specific promotion. This is a great, great way where you can showcase the products that you most want to move and maybe the promotions that you most want to put out there. So make sure you put those products and services, if you do have services, in your Google My Business profile. And the next thing you want to do is do link building. So with local e-commerce SEO, link building isn't the standard link building of getting links from other websites, but it's more about citations. So what is a citation? A citation is basically a mention of your business on other listings that have your name, address, and phone. NAP. So they call it the NAP, N-A-P, name, address, and phone. So the more areas where you have your business listing in, that's considered kind of like a link building strategy, I guess you could call it. So you could do it the manual way. And the manual way is definitely the longest and hardest way, where you create a profile on various different local directories and manually input the information. Or you could use services like WhiteSpark, Bright Local, SEMrush also has that. And they have services where you give them all of your information, and those services will disseminate that information to the different aggregators that then disseminate it to the specific websites. So it's kind of like it's easier for you, but in terms of getting it live on those specific websites, it might take a couple of weeks to a month to 2 months to show up. So keep that in mind. And aside from that, I also want to recommend that you need to do on-site optimization for your local SEO as well. So make sure you have a Google Maps on your contact page or about page, right? Make sure people know where exactly you are located. And you do that by showing a Google Maps. And also make sure your name, address, and phone number is on the footer or on the header of your site. Ideally, the footer where you can have all of that business information. And if necessary, add it to your title tag and meta description if possible. So I recommend adding your name, address, and phone, or a combination of that, maybe on the about or contact page. Maybe you can put it on the title and meta description of your contact page. I think that would be a great area to put it. And lastly, when it comes to Google My Business, people always want to show up first. But in order to do that, there's a lot of factors that come into play. The biggest factor is location. So depending on where someone is doing a search, that will dramatically affect how high you show up. Naturally, right? Because Google wants to show you businesses that are closest to you. They also want to show users businesses that have profiles that are up to date. So that's where you need to fill out your information as much as possible. And they want to show businesses that have a good number of reviews and quality reviews. So my recommendation to you is to get as many reviews onto your Google My Business profile as possible. So ask your new and current customers for reviews. And this is a very easy and free way to increase the likelihood that you will show up higher in the maps listings. And it doesn't require much, right? All it requires is a simple ask. You can ask them at your store. You can ask them in an email. You can put it on the receipt. You can mail them coupons, and within that coupon, you can request a review there. So definitely try to get as many reviews as you can. And yeah, so with that said, I hope you thought this was helpful. I think as long as you follow these biggest points, you will have a solid local SEO strategy. So with that said, enjoy, and I will speak to you on the next episode.